I'm sure you've driven along a freeway and then you've encountered a massive and confusing interchange. Maybe it's the Jane Byrne Interchange in Chicago, or perhaps the Springfield Interchange in Virginia. But long story short, a lot of these interchanges are built like this because of high traffic volumes. But not all interchanges are like this. Sometimes, if there's a lot of available land, they can interchange the size of a neighborhood, such as this interchange in Detroit. But this got me wondering, what's the largest interchange by footprint? I saw Beaver Geography make a video on this a while back. They only covered American interchanges. So today we're going to be finding out the largest interchange in Canada. So I have a few rules and criteria I'm going to be going by. First, we're including all the land the interchange takes up, not just how many kilometers of roads are in each interchange. For example, with this diamond interchange, we're going to be including both the area the road takes up, plus the area inside the interchange. Secondly, I'm also including the entirety of exit ramps. It doesn't matter if the ramps are parallel for the highway for a couple kilometers before merging in. If you're not on the highway, you're in the interchange. Finally, if there are multiple interchanges in short succession, it doesn't matter if they're labeled as two separate interchanges. If you can get from one interchange to another without stepping onto the highway, or if the ramps go above and under the ramps from the other interchange, then I'm counting it. So for example, here we are at the 401 and 409 interchange. So while this is the footprint of the 409 interchange, to get onto that interchange you must share ramps with the Arlington Avenue ramps, which would mean this will be our footprint, but Kipling Ave will not be included because its ramps are separate from the other ramps. Make sense? But before we get into it, I'd just like to kindly ask you if you can hit that subscribe button. We're aiming for 50 subscribers by the end of the year, and we need all the help we can get. Alright, so now let's get into it, starting from number 20, the Trans-Canada Highway and the Stony Trail Interchange on the west end of Calgary. This one comes in at just under 100 hectares. Alberta 201 is a primary ring road around Calgary, while the Trans-Canada, the freeway goes just north of downtown. So it's no wonder why this interchange is so huge given the amount of traffic it has to handle. Next up at number 19, we have the Freeman Interchange just north of Hamilton, on the northwest edge of Burlington. This interchange deals with a lot of Toronto-bound traffic, and then some. Odds are if you're going to Hamilton or the Niagara region or heck even Buffalo, you're taking this interchange. This interchange carries upwards of 200,000 cars daily, making it extremely congested, but then again, that's just the entirety of Toronto at this point. Next up we have the 201 at 22X interchange in Calgary. Again, this interchange just looks like they turned a simple turn into an interchange. This is just a case of having too much land to work with, and this interchange could easily be halved inside that they wanted. At number 17, we're staying in Alberta with the 216 and Highway 15 interchange on the northeast portion of the Edmonton Beltway. The 15 is a major arterial on this end of Edmonton and heads to Fort Saskatchewan, while the Highway 216 is Edmonton's main beltway. This interchange is in a relatively new and rural part of the beltway, and this has pretty good traffic flow and rarely gets congested. However, while there may not be jams, there certainly are a lot of crazy drivers, so watch out. And if you go south along the Anthony Henday for a couple more kilometers, hit the huge three-way interchange on the southeast portion of the beltway. It nearly beats out the other interchange simply just because they turn one interchange into three. Why? This one is one of the most congested areas of the beltway. However, despite that, it only carries 70,000 vehicles daily. Staying in Alberta, we have an interchange along the north end of the Calgary Beltway, between Highway 2 and 201, coming in at 107.5 hectares. This interchange deals with 190,000 cars daily, due to the fact that all Edmonton and Red Deer bound traffic has to take this route to go to Calgary or the US border. And at number 14, we have another interchange from the 407. This one is between highways 407, 427, and 27. This is as large as it is due to the fact that it's just north of the Pearson Airport, which makes it just north of 108 hectares. Because the 407 is an extremely expensive toll road, most of these interchanges are far overbuilt, including this one. However, the province is currently working on buying back the 407 to control toll prices and make a viable option for rush hour traffic. Staying on the 407 for this next one, we have an interchange on the northwest end of Toronto, between the 407 and the 410. This one was built for a much higher capacity, but tolls have made this interchange far underused. Our next one is in Edmonton at the 216 and the 2. This one is a huge clover stock hybrid interchange, and once again, all Calgary bound traffic from Edmonton must travel through this interchange, thus the high capacity. This interchange is one of the busiest in all of Alberta, handling upwards of 200,000 cars daily. This wouldn't be a problem, but bad drivers always cause chaos here, leading to frequent traffic jams. And now we have another interchange from Toronto. This one is between the 407 and the 401. However, in the future, the 413 is expected to connect near here, to make this interchange far more complex and chaotic. Moving into our top 10, we have another massive interchange in Alberta, this time on the south end of the city with the Glenmore Trail and the 201. This one is 120 hectares, which in comparison is the size of the Rideau Park, Roxborough, and Earlton neighborhoods in Edmonton. This interchange handles nearly 200,000 vehicles daily. Now, many directions are more popular than others, which is why this interchange is such an odd layout. And now we have a surprise interchange from Saskatchewan. This one is on the southwest side of Regina, between the Trans-Canada Highway, Highway 11, and the Regina Ring Road. This interchange lies along the Regina bypass that carries somewhere around 15,000 cars a day, with it being designed and planned to hold nearly 30,000 cars a day. Safe to say, it's underused for now. Next, we have another Toronto interchange between the 401, 427, Highway 27, and Eglinton Ave. This interchange is just south of the airport, which, combined with the 401 narrowing from 17 lanes to 8, makes this interchange always congested, even at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday during the holiday season. Trust me, that's happened before. I've gone caught in traffic here, it sucks. This interchange moves over 600,000 cars daily, and it's probably more because information I'm using is from 2019. It's no wonder why this interchange is one of the most congested in all of the GTA. Next, we have an interchange which was just recently constructed just north of Halifax and Dartmouth. The 107 meets the 118 in this gigantic interchange, which then flows into an interchange with Wilkinson Ave, for the 107 that continues westward south of the Burnside Expressway. I originally had this idea when I first started the channel back in 2024, and I'm so lucky I didn't do the video then because Nova Scotia wouldn't have made the list. And because this interchange was recently finished, we don't quite have AADT for it yet. However, I can do a video on this highway if y'all want. Next, we have an infamous interchange between the Trans-Canada Highway and Highway 7 in Vancouver. This one is famous for having 4-kilometer exit ramps, which carried this interchange all the way to 6th place. Real Civil Engineer covered this one, so I'll just link his video in the description. He did a better job explaining it than I ever could. Moving into our top 5, we have another entry from the 407. The interchange itself isn't that large, it's just a 3-level stack interchange with some cloverleaf ramps, but the two park-low interchanges next to it really carry it, bringing up to 143.8 hectares, or 0.55 square miles. This interchange carries over 300,000 cars daily. Most of the traffic, however, is traveling north-south along the 404, once again due to the high tolls, up to $1 per kilometer. Hopefully, once the tolls are removed, this and all the other interchanges along this highway will get utilized. Now surprisingly, we have our first Quebec entry of the video. I really thought there would be more. Anywho, this cloverleaf interchange is between Blainville and St. Jerome in the northwest suburbs of Montreal. This interchange also brings us up to the 150 hectare mark. This interchange is essentially just a massive cloverleaf and the main route for all Ottawa and Gatineau bound traffic coming from Montreal. Quebec doesn't really make it easy to find ADT, but it's somewhere around 60,000 cars daily. It could potentially go up because it looks like they're trying to extend this highway. Kicking off our top 3, we have yet another interchange from Edmonton, this time between the Yellowhead Highway and Highway 216. This gargantuan is on the east end of the city, it averages 200,000 cars daily. This interchange carries all the Yellowhead Highway traffic, and if you wanted to head to Saskatoon or Lloydminster, you have to travel through this interchange. It is also on the east end of the 216, which is one of the busiest stretches of the highway. Now it's time for our second place, and once again, we are on the 407 just north of Toronto in the city of Vaughan. This interchange is a 4-level stack interchange, with a couple of the interchanges connected. I've driven this a few times. While it looks chaotic, everything has its own lane, so it's not all that bad. Can't imagine what this would be during rush hour though. This would be the main interchange anyone would take to go to Canada's Wonderland. And for those of Western Ontario, you would have to take this interchange to go to Northern Ontario and Barrie. This interchange is estimated to handle upwards of 300,000 trips daily. However, it could be much higher or lower because the 407 does not post their AEDTs. However, before we talk about number 1, we have got to go through a few honorable mentions. First up is the 401, 416, and Highway 16 interchange. At first, I considered this to be the largest interchange in Canada, but then I realized it's clearly 3 separate interchanges. Like, there's even a gas station in the middle of all of it. However, this interchange has a massive area of 193.5 hectares or 0.7 square miles, making it about half the size of that interchange I mentioned in Detroit. Next up, we have the largest interchange in New Brunswick, the interchange between Highway 2 and Highway 7, between Fredericton and St. John, in the town of Oromocto. This interchange is essentially just a trumpet, but missing a few westbound movements. However, on satellite, you can kind of see the faint outline of a diamond interchange in the north, and it looks like at one point they tried to extend their highway. Weird. Next up, we have the largest interchange in Manitoba between the 101 and the 190 near the Winnipeg Airport on the far west end of the city. This one is currently actually under construction, and once the 190 is complete, this interchange could find itself all the way up into the top 20. However, now it's time to look at our first place finishers, the largest interchange in Canada, between Highway 401, 410, 403, Eastgate Parkway, and Edmonton Ave. This one mainly benefits from the 403 being weird and having the interchange merge all the way down near the Eastgate Parkway interchange. These interchanges are all combined. A fun fact, if you were to travel from the Eastgate Parkway to Highway 410, you wouldn't even have to take the 403, because your entire route would be along exit ramps. It's the largest interchange conglomerate it is. This interchange is infamous from City Skylines creators making assets of this beast, to social media, where images of this highway are frequently posted when talking about the 401 or just Toronto as a whole. All in all, the interchange carries upwards of 500,000 cars daily. Some of y'all may be upset that this entire list is just Toronto and Alberta, but there's a reason for this. Alberta and Ontario spend the most amount of money on roads each year. However, despite this, there are still a few interchanges I'm surprised didn't make the list, such as the Turcotte interchange in Montreal, the interchange between Route 112 and Outer Route 20, also Montreal, which has the whole goddamn lock in the middle of it, and, of course, everyone's favorite, the 401 at Don Valley Parkway interchange, one of the most infamous interchanges in the country. And you let me know if you like this style of video. I know it's very different from what I usually make, and please give me video ideas. And also, please subscribe. It took me so long to make it. Hitting that big red button would be very appreciated. And after watching this video, watch another. I post content like this almost every week, and there's tons of videos you can binge. But for now, thanks for watching, and bye!